Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cryptic Humility. Let's get into talking about this week and last week's crypto news. First, I'm going to put the top 10 cryptocurrencies up on the screen and their prices here for your review. The first thing that we need to talk about is we need to talk about the S&P Global Crypto Ecosystem Index. What is this? So, S&P Global, not to get confused with S&P 500, but S&P Global is a company that does credit rating. They're kind of like a credit rating agency. They also do a lot of data analytics for people that want to be informed, investors looking for data and analytics and specific information that can help them invest more informed, if you will. S&P Global also is really into commodities and the energy space. But anyways, they are partnering with Denari. Now, Denari is a registered SEC transfer agent. What does this mean? This means that Denari has been granted permission from the SEC to be able to do record keeping of securities, transfers of securities. So basically, if I bought a certain asset at a certain time at a certain price, Denari would be tracking that and keeping record of that. If I were to transfer it, they're keeping record of that. Or also, if I invested in something where I'm getting dividends back, they'd be responsible in distributing those dividends back or interest payments back. So they have special access from the SEC to be monitoring things that are happening in the market. So Denari is actually behind the scenes working to create this index as well with S&P Global. Now, what actually is this index? So this index is supposed to have the top 15 cryptocurrencies and the top publicly traded crypto companies, which I believe there's going to be about 35 of them. So we're still waiting for an update on this, but there's going to be, with assumption, Coinbase, Riot Platform, MicroStrategy, because in doing some research in this, you have to have a market cap of 100 million to be able to participate in this. So these are like the best companies in the crypto industry, the best cryptocurrencies in the industry, like Solana, XRP, for example, all the top coins. I like this because it's another alternative for somebody that wants to invest, and maybe you don't want to go in the ETF route, and maybe you don't want to invest yourself. I actually just went out with one of my older cousins, and she was talking to me about crypto, being like, oh, I want to get involved with it, but I just don't know how it works with the private keys and, needing my own wallet and all this stuff. And I obviously offered to teach, but at the same time, for people that don't want all that technology and all that knowledge necessarily and just want to invest, this is also another great way to invest in the crypto space as a whole. Maybe you don't want to just invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Maybe you want to just have a collective, you want to be able to invest in the crypto space as a whole. This would be a great option. I'll definitely link below any and all resources to keep you up to date with that if you want to do your own research and find more knowledge about this. But totally thought that this would be a great thing to bring awareness to this week, as it's a new thing in the crypto space that you could potentially invest in. Now we're gonna go off grid for a little bit. I really want to share just the funniest story. I mean, at least I think that it was really funny. Every week I'm trying to find new companies in the crypto space to talk about. So by the way, if you're a company in the crypto space and you're listening to this, definitely DM us on X or on TikTok, wherever, on LinkedIn, because we would love to promote your business and share what you're doing in the space. But so every week I try to find a new platform and new creation to talk about in the crypto space. So I happened to have stumbled across Subbed. And if you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I quite literally can't on the podcast. But so I'm like, wow, this is such a cool social media platform. They do decentralized funding for your content. They do like AI creation, AI content. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. It's like TikTok, but decentralized. I'm like, why don't more people know about this, right? So I'm going through last week's episode or the week before to edit and to post this. And I'm like, let me just fact check everything, make sure everything's right. I go onto the website, and that's all I'm going to say. You can totally look up the website. You're going to understand as soon as you look up the website that this is probably a website that shouldn't get a lot of promotion through the AI crypto space. But anyways, it was such a humbling moment for me because it made me realize that I really do need to be careful about the things that I research in the space. We try to prevent scams and fraud and illegitimacies and make sure that I'm giving you guys the best education and awareness in the space as possible. I mean, this would be good for awareness. Even myself, learning every single week, I could always run into another scam or or just another illegitimacy happening in the space. So I wanted to share that. Feel free to look up what I'm talking about, and you will understand. All right, back to actual business. So let's talk about Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley has loosened their grip on who can be investing in crypto. At first, obviously, crypto was seen as such a high risk tolerance. Like you needed to be a high risk tolerance client at Morgan Stanley to have them invest into crypto. Now they're completely changing that around. At first, you needed like a net worth or like a net worth of assets to be like 1.5 million. Now you don't need that anymore. There's no restriction on how much you have saved at Morgan Stanley. I know that they're offering crypto IRAs and like retirement options with crypto involved in them. So, and I'm sure now they have options to invest for the common investor, not somebody that just has a ridiculous net worth. But I think why Morgan Stanley originally was doing that is because crypto wasn't regulated yet. And there's so much volatility in the space too. It's backed by supply and demand a lot of the time. So seeing the actual value was kind of wishy-washy in the crypto space. I'm saying like pre-regulation. So now that things are regulated, they're kind of this administration favors it. We're starting to get a little more trust. Morgan Stanley is loosening their grip and saying pretty much anybody can invest in crypto, which is awesome. If you are already working with a financial advisor or wealth manager at Morgan Stanley, why would you then have to go and move your assets somewhere else to invest in crypto or have crypto somewhere and then be working with Morgan Stanley? It just doesn't make sense. So it's nice that they finally have that option. They're finally jumping on board to the crypto train. I'm a little late, I would say, because I know Fidelity's already, but needless to say, it's good for their current customers. I wanted to share this statistic that I found that's interesting. It says the bank's Global Investment Committee recommended a maximum initial allocation to crypto of up to 4%. Depending on a client's investment goals. So that's interesting. And I honestly, not that we give financial advice on the podcast, but I agree. Personally myself, I try not to invest too much into crypto. There's a lot of get rich quick schemes. There's a lot of people that just want to dump all their money into it. And I think you should be wise still and invest a small amount into the crypto space, like 4% of your. Like if you have 1.5 million, you're only investing 4%. You're really not investing that much into the crypto space. You're dabbling into it a little bit. And that's what I would encourage my friends and my family and people that I talk to about the crypto space, just because we're still in the midst of regulating and monitoring things, all the scams and fraud that happen, just to be safe. Next piece of news we need to talk about is we need to talk about altcoin ETFs coming to fruition. And not only that, because we talked about them getting regulated with the SEC and there's an easier process to altcoin ETFs now, and just like ETFs in the crypto space being regulated much easier and getting approved. But we need to talk about now that they're also offering a staking feature. So let's do a bit of education for anybody who is new to the crypto space. Consensus mechanisms are the ways in which we regulate and verify transactions happening on a blockchain while remaining decentralized. So for Ethereum and Solana, they can use proof of stake. Proof of stake is a consensus mechanism where validators can be chosen at random to be verifying the transactions that are happening on the blockchain. Now, there can be times where if you are initially investing more into Ether, for example, let's pull on Ether for this whole example. So let's say that I'm investing a lot into Ether on Ethereum's blockchain. Because I have so much skin in the game, because I'm putting so much of my own money and risking it on this platform, the platform the blockchain may then reward me with becoming a validator. And with becoming a validator, obviously just like proof of work or Bitcoin mining, you can receive incentives. So they also have an option, even if you're not a validator, that you can stake some of your coin. The reason why on Ethereum's blockchain you would stake some of your coin is because staking it actually helps validators that are chosen at random, like we just talked about. It helps validators be able to continue to confirm and verify that transactions are happening. So when I stake some of my Ether, I'm actually a part of this whole ecosystem of helping Ethereum's blockchain remain decentralized. But in return of doing that, I can receive an annual percentage yield of like 4.5% on Coinbase specifically. So it's sort of, if you will, if you're familiar with banking. It's sort of like a high yield savings in a weird way, or like a CD, if you want to say it's like a CD, because you're risking your money, you're putting it out there for validators, they're confirming transactions like with it, whatever, that process is. I'm not going to get into it too much. But in return, you're receiving interest back for allowing the ecosystem in the blockchain to remain decentralized and helping that process. So why we're talking about all of this is because you wouldn't have that option if you were investing in Fidelity ETFs, for example. So now, even if you aren't on Coinbase, or even if you aren't a validator, for example, now altcoin ETFs have a staking feature. Grayscale, Bitwise, 21 Shares, these are all examples of companies that are trying to move forward altcoin ETFs offering a staking feature. Basically, it's giving people that don't want the direct involvement, like me on Coinbase, for example. I have direct involvement. I have shares of Ether. If I don't, with the ETF and working with Grayscale, for example, I wouldn't necessarily get those benefits because I'm kind of investing indirectly. So now for the altcoin ETFs, they're trying to change that and they're trying to give a staking feature. So I had staked just a little bit, and I'm pretty sure in just a year I've made like a decent amount of money back just from staking it. So it's kind of cool. You're like risking your money, but in return, they're kind of treating it like a CD or a high yield savings where you can get a certain percentage back for trusting in the platform or the blockchain. So the biggest news event that we are going to talk about this week, and really it was news for last week, so some of you may have already heard this, is we need to talk about Zcash. So Zcash is so similar to Bitcoin, and this is why. Bitcoin has 21 million tokens. Zcash has 21 million tokens. Bitcoin uses proof of work consensus mechanism. Zcash uses proof of work consensus mechanism. They are both a blockchain that offers person-to-person transfers, transactions, etc. So why is Zcash so important this week, and why are we comparing it to Bitcoin? Is because Bitcoin's blockchain is a public ledger, which means obviously we can see every single transaction since the start of time on Bitcoin blockchain, easy access for anybody that connects a node to the blockchain. The difference is that Zcash is basically, it's a fork of Bitcoin's blockchain. So it's a fork with a bunch of modifications to it, but Zcash is offering privacy. So while Bitcoin is all about transparency, our blockchain's a public ledger, it's transparent, every single thing can be tracked and recorded and it can't be duplicated, etc. Zcash uses SK Snarks technology, which allows miners to be able to verify transactions without seeing everybody's data. So we're gonna get into my thoughts about this really shortly, because, or I guess we can talk about it now, but don't we promote transparency in the crypto space? Isn't that what we want? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are private blockchains within institutions, but those private blockchains within institutions are still public within the institution. You know what I'm trying to say? So basically what they're trying to do is it's for people that want to do person-to-person transfers without their personal data being exposed, because on Bitcoin blockchain with a proof of work miner, sometimes, most of the time, they're receiving information in that block that is helping the miner solve for the missing hash, which is verifying the block, which is confirming the transaction's legit, etc. So what if when miners are doing that, I don't want them to know my public key. I don't want them to know where I'm sending money, what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But I still want the platform to remain decentralized. That's what Zcash is trying to do. So the debate is, do we fight for complete transparency, which is like what I think this whole Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain stuff is about, if I'm right, or are we fighting for a decentralized world where we have more privacy? So I would be so curious to hear what you guys think about it. Do you support, I mean, can both exist at the same time? And if both exist at the same time, what issues or problems may we run into with that? It's a double-edged sword for sure, but I just want to hear what people think. And lastly, the whole reason we brought this up was because Zcash soared over 80%. We saw a skyrocket in their price of over 80%. So let me show you. I could tell you what the price started at. It started at $127.63 and it ended the week on $235.36. So that's an 84% increase in their token value. The second reason why Zcash has kind of exploded in the last week and is receiving a lot of attention is because Grayscale has a Zcash trust now for people to invest in. An accredited investor is somebody who either has $1 million saved or somebody that has $200,000 that they make in income each year after taxes. So after taxes, their income is still exceeding 200,000. That is what it means to be an accredited investor. And there's specific guidelines on the SEC website, which I'll list below, so you can kind of check out what it means to be an accredited investor and why are they labeled that with the SEC. But so back to my point, Grayscale just set up a whole Zcash trust for accredited investors, which means that people that are making top dollar or making have a great income are looking to invest in this. So of course, the price may appreciate. And I think that's also a huge underlying reason. People are waking up to realize that it's kind of just like Bitcoin, but more privacy. And also companies like Grayscale are looking for top people to invest in their trust and raise more awareness about it. Definitely, and I know Zcash is obviously on Coinbase, so if you're interested in investing, I always recommend Coinbase just because they're very well known and very trusted up until this point with their reputation. But obviously, you don't have to invest on Coinbase if you want to invest on a DEX. So that was probably the most important piece of news for you to hear this week, is that Zcash could potentially be a better Bitcoin. And also just another, I'm making sure that I'm giving you guys everything I can. Just another nice bit of information is Zcash uses equihash algorithm. The whole point of equihash algorithm is because all the mining farms that are mining Bitcoin, for example, all these huge mining plants that are using so much energy to do this stuff, typically use ASICs. So equihash algorithm requires a computer with much more memory storage, which isn't usually aligned with ASICs. So the reason why Zcash is doing that is because they're actually trying to give people an advantage against these mining farms to be able to mine quicker and actually receive rewards. Like if your top competitor is a mining farm somewhere in like Minnesota or wherever, obviously it's going to be really hard to compete with them. So Zcash actually offers equihash algorithm and prefers it like for mining for them because it gives people that don't have the means of a mining farm to actually still win, which I really like. I think that's a big advantage to them too, is they actually care about the average user in their space. But anyways, enough of my chit chat. We're going to talk to our guest speaker. Our guest speaker this week is originally from Nigeria, still located in Nigeria. So we're going to be talking about his history in the FX space, which then led to the crypto space, what he's doing now in the crypto space, which is really cool. We're going to be talking about HeySolana, kind of just telling you guys this to give you a little insight if you wanted to do some research before he comes on. Very excited. Let's get to it. Let's welcome Moses to the podcast. I am here with a special international guest. We have Moses coming on the podcast today to teach us a wide variety of things and to also introduce us to some projects that he's working on, which is very innovative in the crypto space. So happy to have you on, Moses. Feel free to get into your background, your history, where you went to school, and how you ended up in the crypto space today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, Vanessa. I'm really glad to be here. It's wonderful seeing such a podcast to address crypto as it is, because it's a big industry, and if you don't have the quiet knowledge about it, you tend to drift far and away from it. So my name is Moses Edhinyodavwe. I'm the lead engineer for HeySolana, working on the mobile aspect of HeySolana. My background into crypto, so joining into crypto started from my interest in trading as a forex trader. I think I dabbled into the forex market for a while. That was in 2019. It started quite easy for me. I got some quick money from forex, and it was interesting. But as it is, without proper knowledge, you would actually fall into a pithole or pitfalls as it goes. And I think I lost quite some amount of money after making some bucks too in forex, and then I had to just relax back and say, whoa, this market is not what I think it is. I have to actually understand and learn more and get more knowledge about it, and that is what actually brought me to crypto, because it looks similar, the market. It's a financial instrument, but then I jumped to crypto as a form of investment to hedge against inflation by buying also crypto assets such as ETH, which was quite popular then, and also Bitcoin and some other crypto assets. So that was what I actually came into crypto as, that to hedge against inflation, because we had an issue here in our country, Nigeria, where the naira was actually losing its value. So it was good to actually get other coins if it's not USD, which is dollar, get USDC or other coins to hold against inflation. So that's what I was actually doing with crypto for a while. And then I tried futures for a bit. It's still like Forex, too complex, the up and down and the frenzy you get. So and then I discovered that well, while crypto as a financial market is quite interesting, the technology behind it, which is decentralization, is a very unique technology that has many use cases beyond financial instrument as we see it as the meme coin friends we have now. So that's what led me into okay, how can I build product for the crypto community? How can I build in the crypto industry to see how to use create products that people can actually use with that decentralization in view. I'm from Nigeria, see what you know. I think we're the second largest adopter of crypto in the world, and this is majorly because we use these tokens. A lot of Nigerians users of stable coins, especially USDC, and why they do this is to hedge against inflation. And because of that, we have the largest volume. I think the time that Binance was operating very well in Nigeria, we had the largest volume of transactions on Binance, second largest volume of transactions on Binance, in Binance. And same thing we still
Wow.
have with Bybit also, which is running in Nigeria too. So we have a large number of people using this to transfer money, cross-border payments in Nigeria and across different African channels. So while we're not very actively involved in creating fantastic technologies, we are actually second largest adopter of crypto in the world as it is behind India. From my education, I'm my background basically I'm a forestry student. I study forestry and wildlife, so I'm an environmentalist. I understand trees and all that, but sometimes I guess ask the question why we are looking at forestry, which is to preserve trees, preserve nature. Then why am I into crypto, which use a lot of energy to mint coins and mint tokens? But then it's a broad spectrum, and I think I can dabble between both of them as it is. So that's me,
Yes, yes.
Moses.
Let me intervene. I have so much to say. So, first of all, I was gonna ask you kind of your journey from forestry and wildlife to crypto because I talked to so many people in the industry that come from an industry that has really nothing to do with crypto at all. So, but you're correct. Like in Bitcoin mining, there is a lot of energy usage, so I can see why you might have been attracted to it there. We share a commonality because we both got into crypto because we were both into Forex.
Yeah.
And I used to do day trading in the FX market. Like, people on the podcast are probably so tired of me talking about this because I share it like every time. But I lost a lot of money in the FX market, and I quickly learned, how to have a good risk tolerance when trading. But long story short, that's what actually got me into crypto as well. So we share that commonality of how we ended up in the crypto space, and oftentimes a lot of people are just self-taught or just interested for their own reasons. I find your story to be very unique because, like, for example, in the United States, we do have stable coins, obviously, and we are incorporating crypto into our market, but we didn't have so much of an issue. I mean, inflation is always an issue, but I like to hear that that was like a driving force for you guys to liberate crypto. So I guess I would ask you, how was that process? Like, are you guys are you is crypto regulated for you in the market, or like what was the process of Nigeria becoming regulated in crypto? Was it tough, or was everybody on board?
Okay, for that it was a tough process. I think I could remember in 2021, which is one of the reasons why I had issues with Forex, because I think the federal government in Nigeria did not quite understand, or they understood what Forex is, but don't understand what day trading is as it is, and also differentiating it from crypto. So if you're trading as a day Forex trader, you were also categorized as a crypto trader, and the regulation actually gets puts you and people that actually trade crypto. I think one of the major reasons why we had issues with crypto then was, the basic economic principles, demand and supply. Understand? The naira was falling, it was dropping, the economic was going bad, inflation was rising, and then people had to move their funds from the naira to USD stable coins to actually hedge against inflation, and that would drive more push to allow the naira fall deeper, and that was something that was of a concern to the government, and because of that, they had to put a lot of regulations to crypto and also how you can actually exchange that. And that was why we had issues then. But I think fast forward now, I think the government has relaxed a bit on that. I think they've allowed institutions to actually go more into that with regulations as to how they operate. Because one major issue with crypto and this regulation that is everywhere in the world is the ability to track money. You understand? Crypto is decentralized. People can actually move funds, launder money, and all that. And with a country as Nigeria, which where we understand how this works, people can actually exploit that to move funds from the government and do a lot of shady stuff with it, even from insecurity issues and do very dangerous things with it. And it's a concern for the government. That's why they had to regulate a lot of stores and then put a hold on it. I think we had issues from 2021 down to earlier this year. It has been strictly regulated, like very strictly regulated, and it has caused a lot of shifts in how people operate. Even some companies that are operating as stable coins, for our neobanks, they are not operating officially because of that regulations. But I think it's been relaxed now. I think a lot of people are the government is coming to understand the possibilities and the influence of crypto as a part of something that can help with intercontinental or intercountry change and exchange.
Good, yeah, and potentially just demand transparency within your community and within your financial systems. Do you think, and I know we off the record, I know I didn't write this out for you, but speaking transparently, like, do you think that there is an issue with scams and fraud for you in Nigeria with crypto? Like, do you guys experience a lot of scams and fraud within the space? Because that's what we try to raise awareness about, like the FTX scandal and, people inflating their native tokens and stuff like that, like fraudulent stuff. Do you see that where you're located?
Okay, I think a lot of us has been victim from those fraud and scams. As if you bring out the FTX issue, it's something that actually affected me personally. I think I was holding Luna then, and then you just see your token boom, down down to zero. I'm still, I don't know. I still believe in the token. I have some there, but then we actually affected because one thing with an average Nigerian, we are curious. You understand? We are curious. We want to know. We want to get to how can we change our life? How can we do something great to get? And because of that, we've seen crypto as a very beautiful way of doing that. If you look at I think let me go to the Solana community, super team general Solana community, which is the talent arm of Solana. Most Nigerians are actually writers, and they are talented in terms of skills and all that. And the reason why they push themselves to that is because they want to achieve something great. You get, and if there's scams around on the whole crypto community, it's actually definitely touched us. I've gotten my wallet wipes before. And it still happens. So we're not outside that. We're still part of the crypto community, and that also affects us in terms of scams.
Good, yeah. I think that's always important to mention too, that scams happen in every single industry, but also they're very prominent in the crypto space, even internationally. I mean, especially internationally. There was actually a statistic that for Bitcoin mining and proof of work consensus mechanism, that a lot of the hackers that were hacking the blockchain were actually from North Korea. So we
Yeah,
we deal with international scams within blockchain. So like we're all one. It doesn't matter where really you're located if you're in the crypto space. Like the FTX scandal affected everybody, for example.
everyone.
So yeah, and anyways, that was amazing. I'm glad to hear your input on that, and I'm glad that Nigeria is so pro crypto. It's like a breath of fresh air from all these years that we've been prevented from moving forward and moving this market forward. And I think the whole world is opening up to crypto adoption. Like the US is finally regulating crypto and stable coins and stuff. By the way, I don't know if I asked you, but do you work in the United States ever, or are you solely in Nigeria?
Yeah, I've worked there for a while. So, but I'm in Nigeria currently.
Amazing. All right, let's switch gears. I want to talk to you about what you do in the crypto space now. I know there's a few key terms that we could go over too, but feel free to tell us kind of what your niche is now.
Okay, so currently I'm on the community side and also the builder side of the crypto space. I'm done with the frenzy and the meme coin trading and all that. So, but on the builder
Good.
space, I'm trying to create stuffs, trying to bring the complexity of crypto down to the nitty-gritty of it, the simplest form. Understand? Crypto is filled with a lot of jargons, a lot of terms that are not, and I think most chains they speak and say, okay, we want adoption, mass adoption. Crypto can do this, crypto can do this, but they do not work on the terms and the language they use for crypto. You hear private keys, transaction hash, and all that. I think crypto was built for software engineers actually get decentralization to stuff, not for the average users, and that has really been a hindrance to how it's been used in the general community. Because say someone who, especially in Nigeria, I'm coming from where I am now. We have a lot of people that although they have smartphones, but they don't understand what crypto is. Our population is quite divided. Let me explain that. We have a lot of young population. So we have over 200 million now. So we have a lot of young population between ages 18 to 40 that understand this crypto term. And we also have older parents too that do not understand what this is, and also they only understand traditional finance. You get. Now we can adopt, or the younger community has adopted crypto, understand it as a means of exchange to transfer funds between different countries and send money to their loved ones. But the other community has this barrier, and it's because of the jargons, because of the big grammars in crypto as to it. So what in my space now in crypto, what I'm working at is to build applications, make it simpler for these people to actually interact with the blockchain and then get to understand it, from tutorials, podcasts, and all that, to get let them know how crypto works and why they should use it as a tool of exchange, also a tool for transparency also. So that's where I'm currently.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so just to recap that, you are building applications that help make people understand blockchain and even crypto and crypto trading 10 times easier.
Yes.
So, and one of your big projects that we're going to talk about is HeySolana. Some people might have heard of it before. We'll make sure to have all the links below for you guys to check it out after. But I wanted to ask you, is before we get into that, are there any other projects that you are working on? Because I saw that you were on your LinkedIn page that you were part of DevRel. And I don't know if DevRel is like a separate entity with like it's like a community where you guys are like building these applications. I don't know if that's different, or if there's any other projects that you're
Okay.
working on, like yeah, that you want to share.
For like I said, I'm part of a community of builders. We build a lot of products. I will share some of them with you. So we have one that's Streamlink. So Streamlink allows you to how Riverside works, but for streamers basically, to actually allow in-stream transactions. So as you're streaming, I can actually tip you. You can send money to any person through digitalized form, and a Solana basically. So the other product too, there's Fable, which allows you write stories and also get paid with it too. We have Nectarfy, which allow for savings too. Stationary savings, so you can save your stable coins and earn yields from it. And the one I'm actually working on my own project is I have Game Pass, which allow users for gamers to create games and connect the blockchain to it directly, to allow for in-game assets, marketplace on the game, on the fly, without you understanding or knowing how to do that basically on crypto. So we're trying to onboard even with two gamers or indie gamers, as I say, to actually build on the crypto space and allow for that centralization in their games, because gaming has economics, it has marketplace, people sell, people buy skins and all that, and that can be made transparent more with the crypto decentralized crypto as we have it. And what I'm building with HeySolana is basically on the user experience side of Solana. Now, how can you experience Solana in a better way to have, well, although I'm trying to go into other chains, Base and Ethereum and also Bitcoin, to allow for more broader reach. But how can you experience crypto in a very sweet way, as it is as simple as speaking to your crypto and saying it work for you? So this is a blend of AI and also with crypto. How you talk to Siri, you say, "Hey Siri, can you do this? Can you do this?" And Hey Solana does that for you. But the power we have with Hey Solana is we now allow you to make transactions. You have an agent that can allow you make transactions. You can book for flights. You can get Uber. You can get and you can also make transactions and get purchases from Amazon directly from HeySolana. Just speak to it. HeySolana, can you help me do this? And then it connects to your wallets, which you pre-fund to actually make those purchases. Currently Siri doesn't have that capabilities. Alexa can actually do that, but under that family of it, so we're actually bringing that experience to crypto, understand? And then off-ramping to make payment, transfer money to anyone. I can say, okay, hey Vanessa, I am HeySolana. Can you send Vanessa 20 USDC, 30 USDC, and then you get it immediately. So that's what HeySolana is about.
That's awesome. You're creating a Siri for Solana, pretty much.
Yes. That's
And
it.
it's more AI advanced than even Alexa or Siri because it's acting out commands for you in regards to trading, and in regards to investing and just like being able, I read online, being able to check your balance as well. So it's like an assistant for Solana, so you can move through the system easier, which is your whole purpose of existing in the
Yes.
crypto space, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So you originally, I know that you are a software engineer. So and you are the lead, pretty much the lead on the Hey Solana project. I'll make sure to link that below so people can actually check out what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. But also, so you a good key term that I think would be awesome to explain is you have in your bio on LinkedIn that you're a full stack developer. Do you want to explain to people what that actually means?
Okay. Let
Take your
me.
time, take your time.
Okay, so what I mean by a full stack or what a full stack developer means is someone that can actually build a complete application from start to finish. For an application, we have both sides, the front end side, and also the back end side. And the other terms too that are also related to building. So for a full stack developer, you can actually work on both sides effectively and actually efficiently too. So that's why I'm a full stack developer. I actually build website. I can design and convert design to code from Figma, and I actually can also build API services and also backend architecture to handle the side that people don't see in terms of security and speed and network and all that. That's the backend side. So a full stack developer is someone that has experience in both side of the software development and engineering.
Amazing. Yes. So since we teach to beginners, I always like to explain these topics as we're going through them. Yeah. So you're a full stack developer, which means that you can handle the client side, but you can also handle the back end side of software development, which I think is really cool. Just and honestly, I wanted to bring that up because it shows your skills even more. Another thing that I wanted you to kind of talk about and go into is you. And when I was reading into what you wrote, you were originally saying that you were trying to create a prop firm, correct?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what a prop firm is? Because I think that would be another really good thing to talk about because it's
Okay.
kind of going to lead into something else. Yeah.
Okay. So apart from, I think that gained popularity during 2021, 2021. It's a firm that gives you funding for to trade for them. So you purchase an account. I think the structure there was, say you pay $100, you pass through their phases, phase one, phase two, and then they give you access to capital of over $10,000 to trade for them. So that's what a prop firm is. But they have strict rules that you must not lose above certain amount. If not, the account will actually be collected from you too. So that's what a prop firm is. I had something that had an idea which was pretty nice because then after trading, I had to say, okay, let me get traders to trade for me, you understand, with my own personal funds. And then how do I test them? How do I know if they're good? So I hired a developer then to help me build a prop firm. While he was good, I was not actually very satisfied with what he was building. And then I was like, oh, I can do this. I can try. And that was why I like, let me attempt it. And I started learning it. I started learning software development. So that's where I started from because I had a bit of experience with HTML, CSS. So I built the whole stack from front to finish to back just by practicing. Although I wouldn't attempt that. If with the experience I have now, that was a security risk. That was a security risk because I could lose a lot of stuff there in terms of funds and capital because I was just I was doing what I could, not without proper knowledge. But it was a pretty good experience as that helped me with the next steps because after building it, I was quite interested. It was fun. And then I tried applying for jobs. I got some jobs. I'm like, wow, so this thing can give me money. And then that's why that's why I got interested more and actually upskilled from there. So that's the history of
Amazing.
that.
Good, good. Yes. Thank you for explaining that. I think that's another key thing to capitalize on for you and kind of like your journey into the space too. So because I can't even that I mean, if you didn't have success maybe yourself with FX trading, so trying to find other people to do place trades for you is a really good idea. So I like
Yeah,
to
sure.
capitalize on that too and also bring awareness to people about what a prop firm actually is. So to bring us back on track, what are your long-term goals with HeySolana or even just long-term goals in your career in crypto? What do you hope to achieve with this project to start?
Okay, for HeySolana, the long-term goal is to have an AI system that can help you do a lot of stuffs in terms of transactions. Now, currently we are handling basic stuff that are not core decision for you. We do not have our AI currently do not cannot take trades for you, cannot analyze market and do other stuff for you, but you can actually prompt it and say, hey, can you do this? And then it will do it for you. But we want to build a system that can help you manage your home basically like how Alexa works with home management, but this can help you pay your bills when it's time, handle everything you need from grocery, if it's getting finished, order for it, get you food, get other stuff for you because it has access to money which you can actually put into it. So that's the long-term goal for Solana as something home built for each household to be powered by AI and crypto because currently traditional finance markets cannot actually create an account. You cannot go to a bank and say I want to create a bank account for a robot or an AI system, but crypto has allowed that to be possible that you can actually have an account for an AI system. So that is what we're looking at. You're interjecting, joining our everyday life with crypto and the centralization that it brings. You understand? So that's the long term goal that we have for it.
That's amazing. Yeah, so you're now saying that basically AI is allowed to have bank accounts compared
Yes,
to just
yes,
humans only. Yeah, that's amazing. That's
yeah,
so cool. And I think bringing it to the home and giving me kind of like a one destination Siri. Like, why do I have to use Siri and then Alexa? Why can't I just use Hey Solana or one central platform that does everything for me and
yeah,
also involves crypto? That is a brilliant idea. I I,
yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
I'm grateful that we got to hear kind of what the long term goal of it is. So that's so cool. Is there anything else that you want to share throughout your career? Maybe mistakes that you've made or steps that you've taken to get here? Maybe companies that would be good to look into? Just like any recommendations that you have to anybody watching?
Okay, first recommendation is for Nigerian developers. I think we are one of the smartest people in the world. I would say that with pride, because Nigerian builders we are smart. Not you can't debate that. You understand? Although we're not dead there yet in the world because of a lot of issues, but we are very smart and we have a lot of stuff cooking. So for Nigerian builders, I would say they should keep on building. The world is watching. You get people are looking at you and saying, okay, what can you do? What can you do? You just have to keep on building, keep on hitting your target, hitting your goals. You might not be where you want to be now, but definitely, if you're consistent enough, if you're dedicated enough, you're going to get there. That's one thing with life. It's a process. It's a process, and it always leads to the amazing point. So for mistakes, there are a lot of mistakes I've made, which is I'm a very spontaneous person. Like I said, I'm curious, and sometimes I take decisions without thinking of the consequences that comes after. That has actually burned me, and that's what happened with me in Forex. I I should have gone through a lot of training, but then I took some rough decisions, and then but it is part of the process. That's what brought me to where I am now. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So the mistakes are part of the journey, and it takes you to that better place. So
No,
don't
no,
be
that's
sad
a
about mistakes. So
yes, no, I think that's a great point. I was there. I think anybody who actually excels in this space partially is self-taught and also self-taught through their own mistakes and just taking a chance on it. So Forex is a great stepping stone to crypto. And honestly, if anybody's watching, Truly, Forex is a great start. If you're unsure about crypto and you're not educated about crypto, maybe learn about Forex first. It'll kind of give you that background information of how these markets function before you take it even more digitally, like in the crypto space. Because like not that crypto and FX have their similarities, but of course they're different markets. But obviously, if you're not comfortable with the digital aspect yet, maybe look into Forex and learning about that. And actually, that's something that I promote on the podcast sometimes too, is eventually having educational resources for people to learn about FX, because that's where I started. So, but so you, as a software engineer and developer, what do you think is the best steps to take for somebody who wants to participate in the crypto space, like blockchain development or smart contracts? What do they need to learn? What should they learn?
Okay, so for software development in relation to the blockchain side, um, I would say the first thing you need to do is get resources, or I would say that the first characteristics you should have as an individual is be able to solve problems, be curious enough to look for solutions to solve problems. That's the first characteristics of a software engineer. If you cannot look for solutions, if you cannot, okay, identify a problem, this is what I'm facing, how can I find solutions? You will struggle in the industry on the long run, because you might be good at something, but not being able to find questions that are related to what you have and find solutions for it might be a major problem. I will take myself for an example. I think some of the gigs and the jobs I've done, I didn't have experience with it. I didn't learn it during my old learning process. You get, I got the job, and then it's something that happens. You will learn a language. Let's say you learn JavaScript now, and then you get the job. What you will see there
Right.
is totally different from what you studied. So
Yeah.
you have to now relearn again. So if you don't have the ability to look for solutions to your problem, you would struggle, because each organization that I've worked with have their own code base, have their own structure, have how they write their code and everything. Although there's a general way, but they have their own unique way, especially if the CEO or the CTO is a developer himself. You have to conform to how he writes his own code, and that will be totally different from what you've learned before. So that's kind of sort of being able to solve your own, get solutions to your problem is one thing you need to know. And then Google is your friend, ChatGPT is your friend, YouTube is your friend. Get knowledge. And then if you want organizations that train, if you like someone that actually go through a steady process of learning, there's Hashgraph Dev. They train crypto organizations. There's also Crayfin.io, and there are quite a lot on that you can see that train also. But one that I actually love most, that actually helped me, is Turbine. They have the advanced cohort, especially if you want to go into Solana. So there's a video cohort, there's a advanced cohort. If you go through that course, I assure you that you would be a better developer, in especially in the Solana virtual machine.
Amazing. I'm going to list all those resources down below for anybody that's interested. I'm so curious about the Turban 3 program. Like how beginner friendly is that, would you say? Is it like completely beginner friendly?
Completely beginner friendly, but but but
Damn.
but but you can get, it's not very beginner friendly, because when you
Okay, that's good.
start,
That's good.
it's a very extensive program. I think you would, you know, it's not for the faint-hearted.
That's fine. That's fine. That's a good question to ask, honestly. I was thinking, because honestly, I've been wanting to learn much more about blockchain development and a lot of the background education in crypto, like the software development side. But obviously, it's very tough if you didn't learn computer science and stuff. It's a huge learning curve. So basically, what you're saying is that you will thrive here if you are want to solve problems, are good at solving problems, and in a way can adjust and self teach yourself as you go, as you build on your skills, and depending on who you work with, what programs you work with. I know you mentioned that Rust and Solidity might be really good resources in the crypto space, or really good programs to learn. Definitely, if anybody's listening, definitely check out that. And I guess we'll leave on maybe one or two more questions.
Okay.
And one open-end question that I want to ask you is, What do you think is the biggest problem in the crypto space that prevents crypto from moving forward? What do you think hurts this market in this industry?
Okay, for the crypto, one major problem I see is well, there are a lot of chains and they're solving many problems. Um, you see the traditional finance we are running from, we say we are making it decentralized. It's still traditional finance. We have many currencies, but we know it's this is, you want to move naira to the dollar. It's quite a straightforward process. But then the crypto committees, there are a lot of committees, and then we have this secret chain wars that's going on. Although I think it's a business, so they don't have to be partnering. There always be competition in business side of it. But then I think that is what is hindering a lot of builders and also users too. Because if I'm a builder and I want to move into ETH, I want to learn about EVM, I have to learn Solidity. If I want to learn Solana, I have to learn Rust. If I'm moving to Lisk, I have to learn Move. There are a lot of languages around that I have to just get before I get a hold of about different chains. And how can I build a problem for this community or this chain that I can actually easily port to another chain without learning another language? So that's a major issue. That's why the solutions we have are quite how do I put it? They're boxed in each community. Now I'm building for HeySolana now, which is kind of for HeySolana, but it can actually work for other chains too. You understand? So now I have to actually now see how to refactor my code, change some things to actually work for other chains. Whereas if I was working for on a traditional financial network, I know I'm connecting to Stripe. I can actually receive payment from in dollar, receive payment in there and other currencies. So that centralized system is not really there, which is good because it's decentralized, but then it should still allow for collaboration between different chains and all that.
I see, yeah. So you guys are kind of just struggling with, I guess, just more innovation in the crypto space needing to happen, more development needing to happen. And I think that the biggest issue in the crypto space that I guess in the United States we're experiencing is the complete overturn of the financial system and how that is going to erupt in regards to people in power, like the government or big corporations, or even where like tax dollars go. I think the biggest issue that we'll face in crypto is like fighting for our own transparency and fighting for our own freedom, knowing like where our tax dollars are going because we can see them on the blockchain, and or not needing a bank anymore to have our money be or be managing our money because we could have HeySolana or something else doing it for us. We can have our own AI bot managing our money with us, you know?
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, we're going to experience maybe issues with government, but you guys have said previously that, or you've said previously that Nigeria is very pro crypto. Now that you're coming over the hump, that's exciting, and the government and rules and regulations are coming full to fruition. Same thing with the United States. So, last question for you: is there any last advice that you want to give anybody who's new to the crypto space? Like any last words of wisdom that you could give anybody here?
Okay, for anyone starting in the crypto space, it's one if you're investing in any assets that is, invest what you can lose as a very vital information. It's do not enter into any asset or any scheme or any chain with the mindset that you want to make billions of dollars in few months. Wealth building is not instant. It's a process. It's a good process. So while you're coming to crypto excited by the buzz and everything, try to save your money because that's what will keep you in the long run. If you get broke quickly, to start again is quite hard. It's quite difficult. So so don't.
It's also very humbling. It's also very humbling to have to
Yeah,
start
true,
again
true.
after you lose.
Hmm.
So that's great. It's great insight. Don't invest more than what you can lose. You know, be don't fall to the get rich quick mentality, which is what we try to preach. Even though it's exciting in a fast paced market, move at your own pace. Do your research. We'll have all the resources listed below if you're looking for real education. If you're interested in HeySolana, we'll definitely have Moses, we'll have all of his resources down below so you can get in touch. And I just wanted to say, Moses, that it is absolutely amazing what you're working on in the crypto space. I think your idea is needed. Of course, your idea is needed to advance us. And I appreciate your time coming on to the show. You were a great guest and had wonderful insights.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for hosting me. It's a pleasure.
Of course, we'll definitely talk. I would love to have you come on the show in a year and let us know where you at, where HeySolana's at, and we'll definitely want to be invested in the project moving forward. Thank you, everybody who is watching. Tune in next Monday for Cryptic Humility, and have a great night.